Entrepreneurs of Knoxville is a group of just super smart entrepreneurial types who work together to help each other be more successful. It started back in 2008. A friend of mine and I had a cup of coffee, Chris Austin and we talked about what it would be like if we could get some other guys in the room that were just as smart as us, had done just as much as us with other startups and taken some risks, and had a different backgrounds and different experiences from life. And if we could all work together, 8 or 10 guys, to help each other be more successful. The way we did that in the early days was we had a hot seat. So one person each week would be in the hot seat and they had the floor. They could ask for help with their marketing, they could ask for help with a new startup, a new concept, and they would explain what they were looking for, and the others in the group would answer the questions. And we had a few simple rules. You had to speak from experience, everything had to stay confidential to the group, and you had to be willing to participate. We didn't want anyone just sitting around taking advantage of what was going on without contributing anything. We used the platform itself of Entrepreneurs of Knoxville. We created a site, eokhq.com, using Ning, which was a new website platform at the time. And we also connected that hub to the spokes of social media, and we created a Flickr page and a LinkedIn group and a Wikipedia article and Flickr groups and Twitter accounts. And all of those things were used to meet entrepreneurs where they lived so that they didn't have to go to this new destination site. They could be on Facebook and we would interact with them there. The other thing it did is it allowed us to experiment as business owners of how to leverage this social media and use it in our actual businesses. So we used EOK as a platform, as a learning platform. The growth was amazing. We started off with those 8 members. The first year we ended with about 400 members. There was a newspaper article written by Carly Harrington in the Knoxville News Sentinel. And once that article hit the papers, people just started showing up to our meetings, and they started participating online. It was very impressive with how people were coming out of the woodwork looking for someone to help them with their ideas and their startups. The next year we went to 800 members. Then the next year we had over 1,000. Today we have more than 1,000 members across the hub website, the social media platforms, the LinkedIn, all of the different locations where we have members in groups and following us. This will probably change as we go forward, but we'll talk about that more later. So, as great as everything was, after doing this for multiple years, I looked at it and said, why isn't this really working? Why aren't other chapters happening? Why isn't this thing really running without me being involved with the day-to-day activities? I'm sitting here, I'm spending money and time and energy and everything to try to make this work. And since I have been doing it for so long and I've been working inside this system for so long, I thought I really need to bring in some super smart people to help me out with this. So I talked to Dave Morehouse, and I also talked to Brad Green and a group of other people, and brought them in to say, let's look at EOK. Why is it special? Why does it work? What's not working about it? And how can we make this thing where it's an actual entity that goes on and behaves on its own without my involvement, without Leo always being there pushing the buttons? So these guys were super cool. They said, what you need is a system that other people can follow. And that system needs different components. You need an onboarding process. You need something that really explains what's going to happen when you get inside this thing. You need to explain what's special and unique about EOK from any other organization that's out there. You need a way to move through the system so that you're just not stuck in one spot. There's always something next that you need to be doing. And they started asking me lots of questions and interviewing me. And what happened there was we kind of came up with this thing of what's unique and special about EOK. It's that we really care about the entrepreneur, whether it's their first startup or their 101st startup, or if they're failing. We still care about the entrepreneur. We're not there just for the end game of a jobs being created or a new tax paying entity being created. We are about the success of that individual entrepreneur, that person, that human. They asked me what was special about EOK for me. Why did I like it so much? And I told them, when you're starting a new business, there's nothing like having someone that's been there, done that before. You want that experienced entrepreneur that's walked that path before. And whenever I said walk that path, Brad and Doug and and Dave and everybody was saying, man, it sounds like a trail guide, like you have somebody that's helping you hike a trail. And we took that metaphor and just kind of ran with it. And it's really cool because it's so true with businesses. Just because you're good at hiking, a couple of trails in your local community, nature hikes or something around a park, does not translate to hiking a trail that's like an overnight trail in a national forest, which doesn't translate to hiking Mount Everest or Mount Rainier. Those are very different tasks. And not only is the task itself different of the start and the process and the end and the milestones in between, but the conditions of the trail change daily. So you really need someone that knows that trail intimately, knows the environment that that trail is in, knows what hazards lay out there, what unknown hazards could be there. So you really need someone that has been there before. So like say you're starting a software company, you want someone that's mentoring you that has been in the software business before, that can make phone calls for you, that can tell you about the pitfalls, can tell you about the environment if anybody's investing in those kinds of startups right now. What do the competitors look like? Who's exiting these in this current environment? So the trail guide metaphor works very well for us. Some of the other things we needed was the resources. Where are we going to find these mentors that are going to be these trail guides? So we started talking about you have to have these mentors, and they have to be smart people that are connected. And we thought about SCORE, but SCORE really isn't that. The SCORE members that we spoke to are retired. They're usually from a corporate entity, and they don't have that entrepreneurial gene, a lot of them. They don't have that defect that we embrace so readily of we're willing to risk everything for this idea that we want to breathe life into. So when we look at these mentors, we started thinking, who do we know that's the leaders in the community, the leaders in their businesses, and also have high business ethics. They are people that have and they have a desire to give back. They want to help others. And Rotary clubs seem to make the most sense. Rotarians are business leaders, community leaders. They have a sense of community. They have a sense of they want to give back. They want to support others, and they want to help people be more successful in what they do in life. So Rotarians would make great trail guides. The next thing we need, of course, is capital. Everybody needs money on the front end. You need the early stage capital as far as very early stage, like micro lending, and angel investors. So we have partnered with Angel Capital Group, which brings those angels that love investing in these early stage startups. And leveraging their Venture 360 platform, we allow entrepreneurs to complete an application for free and submit that application to any of the thousands of angel investing groups out there using the Venture 360 platform. Now, since we have strong ties to the Angel Capital Group here in Knoxville, they are our strategic partners and help us with open pitch nights where they take a look at our entrepreneurs with these early stage startups and give them good feedback. They also are a good funding engine for those entrepreneurs that are ready to take that next step. The other thing that Angel Capital Group brings is a great, the chapter locations allow us a map of other areas we'd like to expand Entrepreneurial Collective to. It just kind of makes sense that we would open other EC chapters in these locations since we already have a strategic partner there. And most likely, since Rotary is an international organization, everywhere there is an Angel Capital Group chapter, there will be a Rotary chapter, and then there will be an EC chapter. So this just creates an environment where the logical next step is world domination. We will have the ability to start up companies anywhere in the world, shape them up, and guarantee their success with mentors and strategic partners. and then also provide the financing they need to get off the ground and get to that next step through our angel investing network. So of course, if you are out there and you're wanting to start a company, the only real choice would be an entrepreneurial collective chapter. Thank you.